Hey, it's Temestral, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and if you can kind of hear or watch behind me, you can hear the wind blowing. It is a windy day here in western Nebraska, and I'm filming the 2020 GMC Acadia AT4 trim. So, I can't film outside, so what I'm going to do in this review is I'm going to show you some B-roll and talk to you about the changes they made in the exterior. I'm going to talk to you about the interior, because, well, I can hop in that. So, what's underneath the hood, and I'm going to tell you my 5 good things and, well, 5 not so good things about this 2020 GMC Acadia. We're going to start in all this right now. Okay, let's talk about these exterior changes on the 2020 GMC Acadia. First up, we have new standard LED lighting. We have a bolder exterior design in the front, and we have the new AT4 trim package. Those are the big keys here when you look in the exterior. So the exterior is changed slightly. It's a little more tall, I think, in the grille than the prior generation was. The AT4 has exclusive grille, wheels, badging, and it's got black chrome exterior accents. You can see them throughout that front grille, and you can see them along the sides there as well. There is a new 9-speed automatic transmission. Talk about that in a little bit. That is going to have probably better performance and better efficiency. It gets 1 mile per gallon better city. And a new electronic precision shift replace the conventional shifter. Electronic control that frees up interior room. We'll see that when we get to the interior. There's a new enhanced GMC infotainment system. We'll get that. We'll do the interior and new head-up display. But basically, this AT4 trim has a new grille to it, new black chrome accents. You're going to have a unique 17-inch wheels, and all-terrain tires are standard with 20-inch wheels available. So I think overall, it's a good-looking exterior. It's interesting the way the back kind of wraps around to the rear tailgate. It has more of a truck look to it than the rest of the market that has SUVs. Very much like a truck look on the exterior. And I think overall it's a pretty attractive. The one I had was in black, I believe. They have black and white and a variety of other colors as well to go along with the color palette. And you can get this in a Denali trim too, so better interior refinements and a little more chrome. Or they make a entry level SLE and an SLT along with this new AT4 trim. Okay, there you go. That's what's new on the exterior of the 2020 GMC Acadia. I also forgot to mention I have driving impressions in this video as well. Well, like you knew that was going to come. But let's go ahead and hop in. I'll show you the interior of this, and I'll tell you the engine bay, and I'll tell you my 5 good things and 5 bad things. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and hop in the door. First off, I got keyless entry, which is always kind of nice. If you have the key in your pocket, press the button and you hop in. I have some nice stitching here. I have some nice interior trim work here. Got a little dirty. Like I said, I've been driving it quite a bit, so excuse the dirt, but I have a sill plate there. And I should have, oh, it's too bright. Back here, there's a puddle light that says GMC. You can see at night. It's kind of a cool little effect. And coming over here, let's go inside the cabin. So, all right. Whew, hopping inside, we have a nice little GMC engineered logo going on for the IP here. Not instrument panel, the infotainment screen. The IP's got the same deal. So there's your IP, an instrument panel. I have the tach, I have the fuel, I have the transmission or the engine heat and cooling, and I have the speedometer. On the steering, I have your standard cruise control buttons, and I have your Bluetooth and volume buttons. Over here, I have the electronic parking brake. I can turn the lights up over here. And then this is going to be a source of controversy as I get to it. We have the radio controls here, heating and cooling here. Then I have this is the shifting. This is the transmission. They have some fancy word for it. I'll put it down below. I forgot it, but this is the new transmission shifting. What's interesting is GMC is doing a lot of different stuff. On the new Tahoe, it's going to be over here, or it's probably going to be over here on the new Tahoe, I would imagine, because the Chevy. So that's the shifting right there. So you can change the gearing, and you can kind of control reverse, neutral, and drive. It's a little different. Down here, as I move some more trash out of the way. Sorry, like I said, we had a long road trip. I have some USBs, USB-C, and I have the cigarette lighter hook up there. I have your auto start-stop button disabler for the engine, trash control, hazard lights, parking sensors. You can turn those on or off. A couple cups go in here, some big cups as well. I've done that. I have some terrain management here. I have it's kind of a sport mode, a mountain mode, towing mode, and I have some off-road all-wheel drive features. I have heated and cooled seats, downhill assist control. If you're going down a hill, you can press a button. This will control the speed. It's like cruise control going downhill. And lane departure assist, I can turn that on or off. That actually turns the steering wheel a little bit. If you're driving down the road and you kind of go across the line, it'll turn it in. It's nice when you want to gawk. And over here we have the rest of the interior, and you can see the interior of the seats are a two-tone seat. And then in this model I have the bench seat in the back, seats 5, sort of. 3 kids really. We had an adult sit back there for the road trip, and that was kind of tough. And then the rear, we'll get to that rear in a minute. There is no third row in this one. They do make a third row. Now the AT4 has some fancy trim around it. They do that on the headrest, and they also do it outside as well. So let's go ahead and turn it on, which is a push button start over here. And then we'll kind of go through these gauges. I want to point out my fuel economy, and I thought the best way to do that is turn this on. But I have to make sure I turn the radio off. It's always kind of a game, because it will turn itself on. So let's go over here. I'm getting 22.9. I drove 324 miles. So again, I've done a lot of driving in this. This is the infotainment screen. And so if you've never seen the GMC infotainment screen, they've done a good job on theirs. You can kind of flip through different choices. It loads really fast. And there is a Wi-Fi hotspot, which is nice for kids, OnStar, and you have different apps in here as well. So it works pretty well on that. Let's go ahead and hop in the back and open the trunk and do the hood, and we'll kind of go through all these different things. See? It turned itself on. Oh, I should mention as well, I have the light controls up here, OnStar up here, and I have sunglass holder. A little bit, I will say this, it's a little bit of a little big opening. It's big and deceiving, so as you step in, your head kind of goes up. So let me turn this camera around. So there, as I step in, my head kind of hits because the floor is so much higher. So it's deceiving entry-exit on this. It's kind of just deceiving. As I close this door. Quietness again. Inside I have USBs. I have plug-in as well for a household adapter, or a 110 hookup there. I have USB-C, USB-A, I think that's what they call it. The fast USB, the slow USB. I have a little storage bin, which is kind of interesting. And I do have the vent controls back here as well. Or vents. Not controls, but just vents. Okay, inside the cabin, I have plenty of headroom. It's just weird. It's the way the entry is a little bit, just it seems like you don't have much headroom. I have plenty of headroom. I had some lights back here, and so it's a big, it feels bigger than what it is inside the cabin, especially in the back seats, although I don't have much hip room across. So it's not really, it fits 3 adults very well because the width isn't that big, but the height is very good. Okay, let's check out the back. I'll do this as best I can. Like I said, the wind's blowing in my mic, so a bit of a challenge today. But this opens up, says Acadia on the back. And then I have the spot where you could do a third row back here. It does come in the option, but I don't have one here. And so that's about your distance. It fits quite a bit of luggage. We fit quite a bit of luggage back here. Plenty of room, and I have little storage bins down here as well. And you can see these are the blanks. Those move the seats, excuse me. Seats move that way. And I do have a USB back there as well. And I do have, this is the holder for it's like a cover for the back so you can cover up your purchases back here when you go in the store. And I do have some cargo straps. But I think overall, a lot of room back here. A lot of room. Oh, real quick, I forgot to mention in the front, they have a little slide-through cubby there. So your purse is a nice spot. You can go right in there, or your tools, whatever you want to put in there. But a good cubby spot below where the transmission would be, like a stick transmission. Or a manual. This is a 3.6-liter V6. I'll put the horsepower and torque down below. There is a 2-liter turbocharged engine coming. It's late availability on that engine. I have what do we got here? We're going to do oil here, oil dipstick checked here. This is really nice to get to, really easy to get to as well. Over here, windshield wiper fluid. Looks like I got some more fluids back there as well. I have there's my battery, easy to get to. I have my fuse box, easy to get to that. And over here is the massive air cleaner. It's a pretty big air cleaner for this size of vehicle. And it looks like it's screwed to get that out. So that won't be an easy change, but that screws does hold a bit better than clips do. But overall, it's really easy to get to this stuff. And dare I say, you might actually be able to work on this. There's plenty of room behind it, which is pretty incredible these days. Usually there's not much room at all. All right, out on the road here, the 2020 GMC Acadia. Put my foot down, a 3.6 liter V6. We have the 9-speed transmission, and you can hear that engine throwing. I don't know. I was going to say throwing a fit. It's not throwing a fit. You can hear it revving up. It, like I said in the intro, it is cold and windy out here today, and so it's a really good way to listen to road, like road noise coming up and like wind noise coming through the cabin. And as far as how quiet the cabin is. I'm going to bring my voice down a little bit so we can talk a little quieter and see if we can pick it up so much you can hear the wind a little bit. It's like I said, it's a windy day. I can hear the wind blowing. I can feel it blowing a little bit, but it's not so loud in the cabin. This isn't as quiet as I think the triple sealed doors in a GMC Sierra, for example, but it's not $70,000 either. So in this configuration with the 3.6 liter and the automatic transmission I have in here, I feel like it's got plenty of power. I don't worry about getting off the line. Don't worry about getting down the road. It's got plenty of power for passing. I drove this up from Denver about 180 miles, and so I had no problem driving there at all. I don't feel like it's a very spirited driving experience. I don't really get a whole lot of, it drives so nice. It drives nice and smooth. It handles the road pretty well. What it does is it feels very planted, if I were to say that as far as in the description. It's not a vehicle that's going to be pushed around. Like the wind's blowing quite a bit, and we had wind all the time, and I didn't really get pushed around. The way this profile is on the exterior really helps me be controlled on the road. And again, the width of it feels very planted as far as what the tires are and things like that. So it's a very nice driving experience. A little blah. There's not a whole lot of driver feedback. So if you're a person looking for a driver's vehicle, this is probably not what you'd be buying. But if you're looking for something that's more of like a premium ride that is more relaxed, then this is definitely more the vehicle you're looking for. This would give you that nice driving experience, again, without a whole lot of driver feedback. But there, I went over some railroad tracks. You could see the bump, feel the suspension. I mean, I didn't really feel those too much. Hit some more bumps there. Didn't really feel those bump very much. So it does give you some nice suspension. You're not feeling the jarring. Your back's not gonna go crazy because you hit those things so hard. And so it is a nice, pleasurable driving experience. Like I said, I haven't really had anything negative to say about the driving experience besides the fact I just don't want to hop in and drive all the time because it doesn't give me that same kind of desire to drive that other vehicles would in this class. So let's go ahead and get back to my garage and we'll do some more shooting in there. And I'll tell you my 5 good things and 5, not so good things about this 2020 GMC Acadia. Okay, so I talked to you about the exterior, talked to you about the interior, talked to you about the engine. And the thing I'm leaving out, and the driving impression, I talked about all 4 of those things. The thing I'm leaving out is my 5 good things and 5 bad things. And it's time to get to those. One of my challenges with the GMC Acadia is honestly finding 5 good things. I'm just not a huge fan of this vehicle, and I don't know why. I mean, it's got all the bells and whistles I need. It's got all the comfort I need. It's quiet. It drives nice. I struggle with this vehicle a lot. And I think it's because there's a weird styling that puts me off. But let's start with the 5 good things, because we always got to start 5 good things. I think the powertrain is pretty nice in this. It doesn't feel like it's lagging. Doesn't feel like I need to, get a bigger engine in this. I'll be curious to see what the 2-liter turbo does, but I think overall they've done a good job with the way the powertrain is. I think it's a nice powertrain. I think driving on road feel, it's very solid. It's very, like I said, it handles the road. It's very planted. There's no problem there. I don't feel like I'm ever, feeling too much wind noise. It's very quiet in the cabin. That'd be number 3. Very quiet in the cabin. I feel very comfortable driving it. Again, it's a nice, smooth ride. Number 4, I like the infotainment screen. I'm kind of struggling a little bit on this stuff, but I like GMC's done a good job. It's very simple. It works. It's not so fancy. It's crazy how it works. And so it just has a really good job of how that works. And number 5, for me, it's easy. I have kids. It's Wi-Fi and USBs. I got USBs, I got Wi-Fi, and I got rear seat vents. So it's really good for kids and really good for adults as well. You can, charge your phone up. You can use the Wi-Fi in the vehicle, and the rear seat occupants don't get too hot or too cold because there's no fans back there. Okay. With that said, my 5, not so much, is the 5 things that kind of, drive me nuts on this. And a couple of them are simple things. But the hardest thing is, number 1, the damn thing looks like a tank. It just does. It doesn't look stylish at all. It's got the big front end, but it's got the really weird shape in the back end on the hood here. And, you know, inside the cabin, I'll show you this from my garage standpoint, visibility is really bad. I just feel like I'm inside a tank when I'm driving this thing around. I don't feel like I can see very much. It doesn't feel very open to me. I feel like I'm very taken away from the doors and taken away from the front windshield. It just doesn't feel like it's a lot that I can see. So that's number 2. Number 3, transmission, the shifting, just not going to be a fan of that. To me, the plus and minus for lower gear is pretty much useless now because you can't really reach over and do it while you're driving. You're going to have two-handed operation, looking down over here, looking up the road, looking down over here, trying to change the gearing. It doesn't work at all for me. I think it's kind of ridiculous. I have no problem with the shifter. I have no problem with the shifter, console shifter. I don't understand why there's such a big issue these days with that. So let's see. Number 1 would be the shape of it. Number 2 would be the shifter. Number 3 would be, I got heated seats, which is great, but I don't have a heated steering wheel. For $48,000, don't get a heated steering wheel. That's a miss for me. I don't understand why you'd give me one, not the other. And I've looked everywhere, and if it's in this cabin, then it's on me, but I cannot find the heated steering wheel. Number 4 is gotta be just the weird placement of things, like the USB-C and USB-A, or whatever they call these connectors. I tried to plug in my cell phone, and it's a whole bunch of work. There's not much room down there to get a cord in. I'll show you some B-roll here. I'll put my hand down. You can kind of see me try to get my cord in there. There's not much room, and I don't understand why it's so deep. Like, you're going to plug stuff in, then you can put stuff on top of that? Why not move them out and make it over to the side or something? I don't understand why it's such a deep way to get in there. I just don't understand that about the vehicle. And, you know, just to me, there's just too many misses. Like number 5 would be, you know, just everything. I just don't. There's everything about this drives me nuts. There's just the styling, you know. Again, but number 5 has got to be the radio. So when you turn the volume off and you mute it, right, and you stop the car, then if you turn the car back on, the radio turns on. It doesn't remember the last setting. But you can turn off the screen completely, but then it turns all the stuff back on. So I cannot have the volume muted all the time. And then as you saw in my video interior, all of a sudden it pops on. All of a sudden, radio's on. There you go. Have a good time with the radio. So it just irritates me. It just really irritates me. I want it off. I just want to mute it and save the setting. I don't understand why it's so hard to save that last setting was mute, so next time I turn it over, I want it to be muted again. Seems simple to me. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like in this price point that there are more luxurious vehicles and that have more bells and whistles for the price and are more fun to drive and are more stylish. I just really struggle with GMC Acadia. I know lots of people buy them. Lots of people love them. Hey, no problem there. I could see why you want to buy this. I totally get it. It's just not the vehicle for me. That's my 2 cents. So for more Pickup Truck Plus SUV news, make sure you find us on pickuptrucktalk.com. Also, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Type in Pickup Truck Talk. We're there. Trust me, I've done it. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you down the road.